Hey, good morning. It's 7:03 on this Friday, January 17th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. We welcome you on a Friday morning. Cloudy and overcast and colder than it's been, but it's going to be a fantastic Friday. And we've got two wonderful guests to talk to this morning, and you'll find out if you stay tuned. Right now, we're on the air for Wilson Bank and Trust, and we have Heidi King this morning from the Investment Services. Heidi, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine. We're having such a big time. You were just excited here as we went on the air this morning.
That's exactly right. It's Friday.
We were talking about your career, and I think it's worth talking about here as we get started this morning, because what you're doing now is not what you came to the bank originally to do, but you've been there 17 years, you said?
17 years.
And I can't believe it's been 17 years since you were fairest to the fair.
And maybe a little longer than that. I'm pretty sure a little longer than that.
Yeah, I'm sure it is too. But anyway, that's my way of remembering that, and I won't let you forget when you come out here.
I'm okay with it. Thanks.
But you started out as a teller in Mount Juliet?
I did. Started out as a teller in Mount Juliet and worked there as the head teller for a couple of years. And our dear friend Jim Watley asked me to come over and start helping him in the afternoons, and became a licensed assistant for him. And I guess they say the rest is history.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'm wondering, has he ever asked you to sing?
No, nobody wants me to sing.
Well, he and the blues brokers still get together from time to time.
They still do. That started with him and our dear Larry Squires, who started our Wilson Bank investment department many moons ago. And they still get together and sing every once in a while. Even a few of them entertained us at our Christmas party this year.
Well, I want to know what you say you went there and I guess you fell in love with the investment department. What was so attractive, or what got you in that path rather than maybe some other path you could have chosen at the bank?
Yeah, because finance and investments was not what I graduated from college to do. I actually wanted to be in marketing, and ended up at the bank and fell in love with Wilson Bank and Trust, as most people do. But investments really excites me. There's always something different going on in the markets. If you follow it just a little bit, and my clients sometimes look at me with a blank stare and just go, I don't know how you keep all this straight, because there is something always changing. But really and truly, it's the passion for loving the people that I work with and helping them find a financial plan, stick to the plan, and, hit that ultimate goal of retirement and living comfortably and doing what they want to do, living their dream.
Any big news as far as investments go today, or the market, or that sort of thing?
So market's still chopping at all-time highs pretty much every other day. That's probably one of the most important reasons you should come in and talk to your advisor, because as markets continue to tick higher and higher, you want to make sure that your portfolio gets rebalanced, is still in line to your goals and objectives, because if we did have any surprise that came down the pike, you want to make sure that it fits your plan and you're prepared for it.
How often is once a year enough, or is that even too much to take a look at things?
So we always want to talk to our clients at least once a year.
Okay, at least once.
At least once a year. Sit down, see you, because even if something hasn't changed in your account or your portfolio or even the markets, something might have changed with you and your family and what's going on with your needs. So we definitely want to see you and talk to you at least once a year.
Do you deal with mostly? Well, let me ask it a different way. You have many really young people that you deal with. Aren't they mostly people who've a little bit better able to not just live from paycheck to paycheck?
Honestly, it's a good spread of anyone from starting off trying to save in that Roth IRA with the first job, and they come in with mom, dad, or grandma and grandpa, and we help educate and guide them along the way, to people that are looking at retirement or in retirement, and we help them kind of navigate those waters as they transition to the next phase in life.
But you do pay attention to what's out there and changes that might be coming down the pike, even changes in the law that affect investment.
Absolutely. So a big change that happened here recently, the Secure Act was passed. So if you are RMD age or you're having to take those required minimum distributions from your IRA, if you didn't have to start that by 2019, you actually are exempt until you're age 72 now. So get a little leadway on having to take those required distributions and pay Uncle Sam a little tax dollar in the meantime.
Have an idea that your clients, though, really depend on you to guide them and even to remind them of some of these things, especially if they don't want to pay that much attention themselves.
That's exactly right. So we work together with their attorneys or estate planning documents. We work together with their CPAs and accountants because we want to make sure that we're all staying on top of it for them. I don't want people worrying about their money at night. That's for sure.
Anything else before we close out this morning? Time is flying.
Absolutely. So we do have a dinner coming up. It's almost full next Tuesday or a week from Tuesday, the 28th. So give us a call at the office if that's something you might want to be interested in attending. We'll see if we still have some room. Strider Alas from First Trust, an economist, is coming to speak to our group at the main office. And so we're really excited about that event to have that again this year. And then we also have remodeled. So if you come to the main office, you will no longer find us in the basement. We have moved up to the second floor. We have a nice new facility. Hopefully we'll have an open house sometime in the spring. We're excited about it.
All right. We did talk about investments. There's a little disclaimer we usually provide.
You got it. So securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC, are not guaranteed by Wilson Bank and Trust, subject to risk, and may lose value. Not a deposit, not FDIC insured.
Heidi, it's always good to see you. I'm glad you like what you're doing, able to help people expand their wealth, and it's got to be a great thing for you.
Thank you so much, Coleman.
Heidi King, and that's it for Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender, Middle Tennessee's community bank, excellence in banking since 1987. 10:30 after the hour, it's time for our Friday Senate report, and Senator Mark Pody is right here. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. It's great to be here.
After last week, and I wondered when we started, you told me earlier when I had invited you to come out, we'd get the Friday Senate report started and all of this. You had mentioned that it was my birthday and you were going to remind everybody. And then I noticed when we got to the end, you hadn't said a word. And I wasn't going to remind you. I mean, it's not something I want to brag about or all that. I'm appreciative for my 80 years. And I thought, well, okay, he just didn't think it. And then, lo and behold, the whole thing that happened after that was great.
That's exactly right. So I did that Facebook Live so people could see you having a surprise birthday being celebrated with the cake and all. So MJ and Billy, they all were here to, of course, wish you a happy birthday. We're so proud. Coleman, just to be here and celebrate that with you last week.
Well, I appreciate that. Appreciate the Facebook thing that you did as well. And, of course, the $81 bills that Susie so neatly put in that. She just took a manila folder and then got some different pictures and a little wording. She can be so creative.
Yes, she can. I thought it was a great event, and you really look surprised as well. So.
Oh, I had no idea. I really didn't. But I did notice you sticking around.
I did. But so, I got to tell you from last week, I actually got a text while we were on the air because we were talking a little bit about the Seahawks. And there's a big Seahawk fan in this town, and we were talking about the Packers. He said, stop talking about that, But, of course, we got the Packers in playoffs as well as the Titans. So, and two of my favorite teams, they could actually end up in the Super Bowl.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
That would be really awesome.
You would have to pull for the Packers if they met the Titans in the Super Bowl, wouldn't you?
I'm going to tell you what. I would put a Titan shirt on and a Packer hat.
Cheese. Well, we'll see. We better get busy. We didn't get half of what you wanted to talk about last week.
I know. But Coleman, Barbara says, I talk too much anyway, and everybody says,
by the way, Barbara was invited to come in here and be amongst us, but she's sitting out in the lobby.
She's sitting in the lobby. She said if she came in here, I'd make her say something, and she does not like to say anything.
Okay. Well, hello out in the lobby to you, Barbara Bodie. What's on your mind today?
So first, our first full week is done, and it's been a good week. The committees are already starting to hear bills. The House is going full blast. The Senate's going full blast. We do have a holiday on Monday, so we won't go back until Tuesday. But on Tuesday, we got Christian Day on the Hill. So there's actually going to be kind of in the afternoon some prayer time. There's going to be some worship time. But anybody coming down to the Hill, there's a lot of different groups that have days on the Hill, and it is the Christian Day on the Hill. So if anybody's interested, there is a program with speakers and such starting at 4:30 in the afternoon, and that's going to be at the Municipal Auditorium. They're also going to come to the Capitol and Cordell Hall. So that's happening. The other thing that's going on in our committee, we had something called the Real ID. So I'm on transportation, and we wanted to get an update because we've still had a long waits at our driver license stations. When somebody goes in to renew their license or they go in to do something to get the Real ID, it is a long, long time. It's not uncommon for people to tell me they were there for 2 hours or 3 hours to get this done. So we had them come in, Department of Safety, and say, what can we do to hurry this up? And we got 4.5 million drivers in Tennessee with licenses. And for them to get everybody through to get the Real ID done by October 1st, there is a line. In fact, we've only gotten 400,000 of those done so far. And on October 1st, if you don't have a Real ID, a star on your driver's license, you're not going to be able to fly domestically unless you have your passport with you. And you won't even be able to go into some of the federal buildings downtown unless you have that star on your driver's license.
I'm happy to say that Helen and I are part of your 400,000.
Very good, very good. I'm not happy to say that Barbara and I are not yet. We've got to go do this, so we got to go stand in line as well and get ours done.
Well, when we go to a break, I'll tell you a little secret.
Okay, all right. I want to know as many secrets how to cut through that line as I can. But
in fact, I'm going to do a program about that maybe in a couple of months. Good. With our local people who are doing that. I hope to, anyway.
Awesome. I will tell you, the sooner people do that, the better it's going to be. And you don't have to have it done by October 1st, but if you're going to fly, it would just make it easier. And they're going to continue on for years because people make that decision when they want to do it and such. But there will be a big push this year to do it.
And you think maybe you're going to be able to hold back some on the wait time to expedite this?
Yes.
From your meeting the other day?
Yes, they're actually hiring more people. They just put, Lebanon was actually on that list to get another person. Anything we can do to hurry it up, we want to do it. There's different county clerks around that are now going to be doing it, but a county clerk, they don't make any money. It's just, it's like $4 to do it, and it takes a long time to get a Real ID and so forth. So, we're just going to encourage any way that we can for the department to move along and get this done.
Okay, time for us to take a break. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
All right, it's now 7:17. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota and Rental Kubota. They've got a large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products, 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still very busy out here as expected, trying to get out of Wilson County right now down through Mount Juliet on 40 westbound. There's a crash with injuries tying up West End at 31st in Midtown. Avoid that area. Still trying to finish up the paperwork on the wreck that's headed slow on 24 eastbound up past OHB as you come in from Jolton and from Clarksville. Princess Hot Chicken is the original hot chicken in Middle Tennessee. Check it out this weekend, 5814 Nolensville Pike. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
At Wilson Bank and Trust, financing a new home isn't just about buying bricks and mortar. It's more like helping a neighbor build and grow in life. And you won't find anyone better equipped for that job than a friendly expert who's right down the street. Whether you're looking at new construction or a home equity line of credit, Wilson Bank and Trust will work with you on a home loan that's closer to home. Visit Wilson Bank and Trust online or in person when you're ready to take your next step in life, and you'll be glad you did. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Why settle for an ordinary mower when you can have an Exmark zero-radius turn mowers that have been beautifying landscapes for more than 3 decades? Take advantage of Exmark's Triple Play sales event. Buy now and you'll pay no interest till March, no payment till April, plus $1,000 off all Radius X and S models. Buy now and restart your warranty till April 2020. Top landscape pros purchase Exmark 2-to-1 over the next best-selling brand. So what are you waiting for? Stop by Absolute Kubota at 1325 West Main in Lebanon or visit them online at www.absolutekubota.com.
Coleman and Company, it's Friday, and our Friday's Minute Report with Senator Martin Cody. All right, let's pick up where we left off. We're ready to talk about something else, I'm sure.
Yes, we are. So I've got some bills coming up, and you know, Coleman, what I try and do every single week is I have a group of individuals that sit down with me on Thursdays, and they help me review bills, go through, and what we're going to be voting on, and so forth. And I'm so indebted to this board that we have. And the time that they put in and the discussion they have. And this week I said, I want to listen to you all on some of the new bills that I'm going to be talking about. And I said, if I can't convince you all that this is a good bill, you don't know it, then we don't need to put it down in committee. So we went through some of those bills that we're going to be having, and I want to just kind of talk a little bit about them. And
sure.
Of course, thank the board for being there for me. You know, one of the bills, though, is one that we've got from last year. It's the heartbeat bill. And we're going to be bringing that back up so we can try and get something passed this year that's pro-life legislation that will help recognize these babies as human beings and save them and protect them. So we're going to be working on that. But that's kind of carryover from last year. Another bill that we did that is going to be brand new is this. If somebody is here in Tennessee and they want to send money outside of the country, we're going to just ask to show that they're a U.S. citizen or that they are here legally. And if they can't show that they're here legally, we're going to actually put a fee on the money that's going outside of the country. Now, this is going to be, and we hear, for example, people sneak into our country and they're here in Tennessee and they're working for cash under the table or something, and they're not paying any real taxes, and then they send that money to Mexico. And I appreciate they're trying to send money to their family and things like that. But we're the ones picking up the cost to educate them. We're the ones picking up the cost for their health care, and some of them get on food stamps and such. And even though they're working under the table, we're still picking up the cost for them. And so what this is going to do is if they're sending money outside the country, we're going to get a fee. And I'm going to tell you, so we went to the department and we asked the department, we said, how much money is actually leaving our state on a regular basis? And the money that they were telling us, it is absolutely incredible. And just kind of looking at these things, we had $65 billion leave Tennessee in 2015. In 2016, it was $72 billion. 2017,
Billion. B.
With a B.
Well, that's a lot of money.
We had 79, and then 2018, 103. It was just an incredible amount of money. I'm sorry, I'm telling you the wrong numbers. That was the number of transactions we had. In 2015, it was $9 billion. In 2016, it was $10 billion. 2017 was $11 billion. And last year was $14.5 billion that left. So what we're going to try and do is we're just going to put a little bit of fee on that money leaving to help our state pay for the costs that they're here.
And here again, this is if they are not a citizen.
That's correct. If they can't prove that they're here legally, that this would be applied to them. If they're here legally, they're certainly welcome to do that.
No, they can be here legally and not be a citizen.
That's correct.
Okay,
that's correct.
As long as they're here legally. So, but anything illegal, we're going to get a fee to do it.
That's exactly right. And when I seen some of these numbers, it was really, really, I thought, a high number. So what I was going to do is any money that we collected, and I'm doing this with Representative Bruce Griffey, any money that was collected, we were going to take and put 25% to our schools. And we think that the schools are educating these kids. They got to bring in special teachers and such if they don't speak English. We're going to put 25% to our cities and counties, so to local government. You know, they're the ones that are dealing with this as well. And so many of our cities and counties are kind of financially strapped right now. So this is a way to kind of get them some money. And then I'm giving 25% to law enforcement. And then the last 25% will actually go into the general fund of the state of Tennessee. But Coleman, when I was looking at these numbers, I just thought it was incredible to do it. And I just think this really makes sense that we go ahead and we take a little bit of that fee and help the citizens here. So it's not totally an unfunded Band-Aid by them being here.
Well, your committee have much discussion about this?
I think that they were very, very, very comfortable with this. And we said there's a provision in the bill that if somebody went to and transferred money and they just didn't have the right ID with them, that they would be able to ask for a refund. So I think that we made it in place that if somebody is here, I'm not trying to take money from people that are here legally, just trying to help support their family. But I am trying to say, if you're here, you don't have the legal documentation, that you're going to have to help pay for the services that you're receiving.
Well, taking money under the table, not paying Social Security, not paying income tax on that.
So this, I think, is a really good step to doing it, and it's going to be a very strong, positive fiscal note for us. So, like I said, it's going to help our schools, it's going to help our law enforcement, should help our local governments. So I think that's a good way to address that. We had another bill that we were looking at doing, and Coleman, I'm going to just flat tell you, I never even dreamt I'd have to write a bill like this. It's a horrible bill, okay? But in the society we live in today, we've got guys in school that feel they want to compete on girls' teams. And they're actually now breaking records of girls' team, and it's like if they want to be in track or they want to be on a football team, how can girls gender now compete with guys that just feel like they're a girl and such in sports? So we have to write a bill that says if you were born a male on your birth certificate, your original birth certificate, you're not going to be able to compete in public schools against women. Even if you feel like you're a girl, that's not fair. It's not fair to the girls in sports that are trying hard, doing they can, and now asking them to compete with individuals that feel like they're a guy.
I can't help but think the majority of the people are going to favor what you're presenting here. But yes, there's going to be an outcry over this, no doubt, and a lot of unfavorable publicity. And
I know
you're going to be hated, probably.
I get emails and calls on this because they're uncomfortable, because they feel I'm against a group of individuals, and I get that, and I know I can't make everybody happy, but I am going to try and stand up. This just to me,
but it doesn't seem fair at all.
No,
to the girls having to compete against in a situation like this.
No, and now can you picture, if one school system said they could have it, now they're going to go compete against another high school or something where it's strictly girls, but you got that's not how this needs to be set up. I wish I never even had to write a bill like that. But Coleman, this is a society that we're living in, and I just think in Tennessee we need to stand up and say, here's who we are. I've had Chamber of Commerce people come in and say, well, you know what, we might lose a business because they don't like this kind of stuff. And I said, you know what, if that business feels I got too many Christian values for them to want to be in Tennessee, then maybe they don't need to be in Tennessee themselves. I'm not trying to run them off in any way, but I do want to stand up for who we are.
Have you talked to coaches, athletic officials, school officials about this much?
I have talked to some school officials and such, and and they said we want what you're doing, but we would rather have the state take that lead than us doing it individually. So, we thought maybe it should be school by school or whatever. But in this case, they just said, that way, and I think they don't want to take the hate mail. They would rather just let the state do it, and then they can just say, well, we're only following state law. So I think this is a really, really good bill. And again, I wish I would have never even had to think of this bill or run this bill, but it is one that we need to address in our society today.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. No doubt it'll get some news media attention, and sometimes the what's that old saying? About the one that makes the most noise gets the most attention.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease, I guess.
That's what I was talking about. Yes. Yeah.
All right. So that's another one that we're running. Now, I'm going to tell you, my wife was in an ambulance. Okay. I had one of my grandkids actually being transported from Lebanon down to Nashville. And so my wife was driving in the ambulance with them when they were doing it. And she said, Mark, cars would not pull over for the ambulance. I said, well, they have to pull over because they got their lights on, siren on. And she said, I'm just telling you, I'm riding with them, and they're not pulling over. And so we talked to some of the ambulance drivers and said, yeah, they don't always pull over for us. And I said, well, you're trying to save a life. So we're going to be running a bill to do something like this. It's going to say that if an ambulance has a camera in the car and it's filming, and then the driver is willing to sign a statement saying that, hey, this car would not pull over, here's the driver's license number, here's the film and such, that they would be able to actually ticket that car and send a fine on them. Because a policeman's not always there to catch that, but we're hoping this way that we can get people and encourage them to go ahead and pull over for emergency vehicles. They should anyway. I mean, there's just no reason for them to try and stop. All of us are in a hurry to get somewhere, but if we got an emergency vehicle, that should trump what we're trying to do. So
You think there'd be much opposition to this?
The only opposition I think I'm getting so far is, people don't want cameras giving tickets.
Yeah.
Okay. That in this case, we have the red light laws and such, and there were cameras. There was a big outcry on that. But this is where somebody has to physically see this and document it, and then they're going to take this film and give it to law enforcement. The law enforcement will have to make that determination if they broke the law or not. But at least we got a real live person there that's saying, I'm going to witness it. I've seen it. Here's the proof and documentation in that video. And that's what would stand up. So I don't think I'm going to have much pushback. We just did that for school buses.
Yeah, I am not aware of this going on, and you need to do something, I think, to get their attention. If they're going to be rude enough not to pull over or unconcerned enough about somebody in an emergency situation, that's it could be a very life-threatening thing.
Yes,
and it could it could be a matter of life and death for the person in that ambulance, and all because they wouldn't pull over. That's pretty bad.
That's exactly right. And so I'm going to be running this bill as well. I think that we got a really good shot at doing it. There shouldn't be any fiscal note. In fact, it should be a positive fiscal note for the state going forward. And it's just going to encourage people to do what they're supposed to do. It's already the law. We just got to get them to follow the law. Okay. And it just is pull over for emergency vehicles.
All right. We are out of time, believe it or not. Thanks for your visit. But the good thing about it, what we didn't get to today, we can get to next week.
There you go, Coleman. Always great to be here with you.
See you next Friday. That is Senator Mark Pody and our Friday Senate Report. We hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:31. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford and the regular oil change. It's only $28.95. That's up to 5 quarts of oil, tax, and disposal. $16.73. West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still heavy traffic out here as expected on 24 eastbound. Trying to get in from Jolton, Clarksville, Franklin Pike at Tyne Boulevard. That's a crash being cleared up. Also on 24 westbound near Briley Parkway. South of town, it's had traffic limping along a bit. Tillman Payne has the track record, the commitment to create a courtroom that advocates for everyone, not just a select few. Vote Tillman Payne, paid for by Friends of Tillman Payne, Sylvia Johnson, Treasurer. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Medina, can you believe this new year is here already?
Yes, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call us and we will give you a free estimate of what your home is worth.
We have exciting new ways to market your home and to get it sold for the highest possible dollar. Happy New Year!
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmentoller at Exit Rocky Top Realty. C&D Team, 443-3130.
Since they retired, one couple has ridden every wooden roller coaster in America. What are your goals for the future? Your Waypoint financial professional can help you develop a financial plan to get there. Waypoint, your future, your way. Call your Waypoint financial professionals, Bill Bryson, David Gordon, Tracy Hay, and Tony Helton at 615-444-6548 or log on to axaonline.com. Financial planning services provided by AXA Advisors, LLC.
Your Tennessee Titans are in the AFC Championship game.
The Tennessee Titans have shocked the world.
Sunday, a special AFC Championship edition of Titans Countdown.
Brought to you by Absolute Kubota Exmark, Bates Ford, Jakes & Hooker, Steamwell Plumbing, and the Jewelers.
This is Wilson County's home for real country music and the Tennessee Titans. Real Country 98.9.
John Boyce here from the Scoreboard Show. For the first time ever, we will be extending the Scoreboard Show to include all of Wilson County high school and college basketball. Trip Perry and I will give you all the basketball scores from the county, as well as interviews from the coaches every Friday night from 9 to 11 right here on WANT FM 98.9. The Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Designers Carpet, Absolute Kubota, Kay Maynard with State Farm Insurance, Sheriff Robert Bryan and Lebanon Police Chief Mike Justice, Dickey's Barbecue, and Southeast Motors.
You'll want to have the umbrella handy for your Friday. Skies will stay cloudy with a chance for showers as we go through the afternoon. Highs will top out in the lower 50s. If you're going to be out and about this evening, the wet weather will stick around. Lows will fall into the mid-40s. We will stay soggy through at least the first part of the weekend. That's your forecast. I'm meteorologist Nisa Lomax.
Good morning. Welcome to part 2 of Coleman and Company. We're glad to have you with us, our listening audience. We're also glad to have our friends from C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty here this morning. We've got Miss Judy, we got Medina, and good morning to you both.
Good morning,
Good
Coleman.
morning.
I survived last Friday.
Yes, you did.
That was so great. And by the way, you got a little thank you card there. I've told you not to open it yet. Open it when you get to the office
Okay.
or somewhere. But
Well, thank you.
it was so nice to have Mike devote most of your time last week to how he appreciated this program here and really the way that it has helped your business to advertise your business, and that was nice.
Well, it's like when you're in business and you do something and advertise, and people's always wanting you to advertise with them. And when something works, we stick with it. And so I can really say that the radio works, or we wouldn't have been here all these years.
We thank you. The C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty, again, Miss Judy and Medina here, there on West Main Street, been there in that same location for a long time. Great service is offered, of course. Somebody answers the phone 24 hours a day. They're people you can trust. So, you ready to get us started?
Well, I was going to talk a little bit about getting the value of your house. People go, I'd like to sell my house, but I don't have a clue what it's worth. Well, the best way to find out is just give us a call and we'll come out and make an appointment. And a lot of people go, well, let me wait and get everything all cleaned up for you. And that we're not a white glove test here. So we want you to relax. And what we come to look for, the first main thing is the floor plan. And people forget about that. You know, they can send us pictures of what their house looks like, but the floor plan is so important because there are people out there that want that open floor plan where they can sit in the living room and the wife can be in the kitchen cooking and everybody's there all together. And then there's people that don't want anybody to see in their kitchen when they've got guests. So some people like that closed floor plan. People like the split bedroom plan where they're on one end of the house and the kids are on the other. And then there are families that want all the bedrooms on the same end because they want to be on the same side with their children. So what you got to know is every house has been built for a particular family for some reason. Everyone who built that home built that floor plan the way they wanted it. And a lot of people say, well, I don't know how sellable my house is. Trust me, we've never had a house that we couldn't find some family that liked it. Somebody's going to like your house. And that's our job, is to market that house according to what the floor plan is and to the people that want the bedrooms all upstairs, or the people, we even had one, that master bedroom was in the basement. And the guy wanted the master in the basement because he worked on his classic cars at night and he wanted to be down there with them. So, you know, you never know what kind of home, what people are looking for. And so we look at the floor plan and see how the house flows. And we look at things like what you need to do the house and what you don't need to do the house. If your bedroom's painted lime green, there's some people that love lime green, and then there's a lot of people that do not. So we might say put some taupe paint on that wall. And then some people say, well, I've got a few leaks under the sink and I've got this wrong. We can come and we can help you get the people that get that fixed for you to get it on the market, so that sometimes people are overwhelmed. I would put it on the market, but there's so many things to do. And this is the time to do it, because trust me, January is a busy month. Don't wait till spring saying, well, I'm just going to wait and do all this in the springtime. Yeah, the houses show better on the yards and stuff when it's green. But you got to know there's people retiring at the end of the year. There's people changing their kids in school, and these spring breaks will be coming up before long. People are searching the internet right now looking for what they want to come and find in Tennessee. So your house needs to be on those internet sites, and we can do that for you. But we can come out, and there is no obligation to do that. We'll come out and walk through and tell you what we think and give you a price of what the market value is of that moment. And then you can decide what you want to do. And if you don't want to list it, there is no pressure. So we just want you to call us and we'll come out and check on it for you.
Can't be fairer than that.
Well, you can't. Well, if you got to lose.
Right.
So I'm going to let Medina talk about a listing.
Tell us about a listing.
We have a listing that is vacant, but it has just been reduced to $3,099. It's 3 bedrooms and 3 full baths and 3,000 square foot and on almost a 2-acre lot. And it's 2034 Canesville Road. And this is one of those open floor plans. It's a ranch style home that's been remodeled, but is an open floor plan. It has all the rooms are large. You have a large living room with a gas fireplace. You have a large dining room. You have extra large bedrooms. The master bedroom is almost as big as a bonus room with the master suite bathroom. And then it could also be 2 masters. There's another bedroom that's large with a full bathroom with a garden tub and everything. And it's on a almost 2-acre lot with a 2-car garage. It is on Canesville Road, not far from the interstate at all. So you're minutes from the interstate and the international airport. But it's vacant, so it's easy to show, and it's listed at $3,099. So it's just been reduced. So we would love to have a buyer come in and start making their memories in this house.
All right. What else y'all got for us today?
And then we have open house on Sunday at Sugar Flat Road. It's 4 bedrooms and 3 full baths. And it's on 8.5 acres.
Okay.
And it's open house from Sunday 2 to 4.
Sugar Flat Road is off the Carthage Highway, isn't it?
That way, or you can come off Trousdale Ferry Pike. We put the open house signs up yesterday.
All right.
And we'll have the Titans game on, so you can come and you can sit and watch and enjoy the house.
So Bacon Titans fans, no excuse for not coming to your open house.
Right. Where's your blue today?
Well, I got my team's
blue
blue.
jeans.
How's that?
He's got blue jeans. All right, we'll count that.
Well, we're pulling for them long and strong. I'll tell you.
Right.
Now,
That's right.
Hope we can make it. Well, we'll see y'all next week. Have a great one. Thanks for being with us today.
All right. Thanks a lot.
That is Miss Judy and Medina of the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty, and you can give them a call, 615-443-3130. People you can trust. We're about 20 minutes before the hour. Now, May Beavers, if you feel more comfortable sitting here where you have always sat, you can move. You can get Miss Judy's seat she had. You always came when we did the Friday Senate report. You were first. Sat here where Senator Pody sits every time now. But now that you are resituated, good morning.
Good morning. Not used to getting up this early.
Well, it's nice to see you again, and I thought it was appropriate to have you because you've made the news here lately with an appointment to the parole board by Governor Bill Lee, and I thought it would be nice for us to have you come here and talk about that. Now, I did mention this a little bit to Senator Pody before we went on air. He told me that this is effective February 1st. Is that right, when you actually become a member of the parole board?
Right. Actually, that's on a Saturday, so I'll go to work on the 3rd.
What brought this about? Is this something you really sought? It's from what I hear, it's a nice position. It's a very responsible one. It's one that pays pretty well, they say. But tell us about you being put on this.
Well, there weren't any deals made or anything, as far as when I endorsed him. Of course, I thought he was the best one that was in the race at the time. I didn't ask for anything. I didn't plan on doing anything. As we traveled the state, keep in mind for about 9 months there, we were everywhere several times a week, speaking at the same places and listening to each other. And he told me that, he picked up a lot of things that I was saying and talked a lot about a program that actually they have over at Trevecca Community Church. It's they have a 501c3 over there called Crossbridge, and Jerry and I were supporters of that. The girl that runs it is a good friend of mine. She's had this going ever since really back the Bush administration. And, you know, they get grants and so forth to do their program, but they help men and women out of the Metro jail when they come out. They go in and minister to them and help them when they come out. They got a contribution, a donation of a lot of money recently, and they're about to finish. I think they're going to cut the ribbon in March. And they can house 70 women, and they take them in, and they, if they don't have a high school education, they'll help them get their GED, go back and finish school. They have one that is starting Trevecca here pretty soon, and one starting at another college. And they help them get off of drugs. That's another thing that I had talked about across the state, because I always objected to the way that they were trying to help people get off drugs by giving them drugs, Suboxone and methadone. But they help them get off of drugs and pretty much go cold turkey. And it's just been a phenomenal program to help people coming out of jail. And I've been so impressed with it.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but once you dropped out of the governor's race, or maybe not immediately, but not too long after, I think didn't you jump on the Lee bandwagon pretty soon? And
not really, because I dropped out, I think, around the 1st of February, and I think it was up in June or July.
Okay, but you did support him,
right?
Okay, prior to the election, and he picked up on some of what you were saying here, especially in this regard. So that had some bearing on you getting the support.
Yeah, and part of, I think, the parole board, you've got to look at, you know, when you're judging a person and whether or not you should let them out, look at what they plan to do to get their lives straightened out and, you know, become a profitable member of society. And so I think that, you know, kind of caught his ear. And last time he was in Wilson County, he even, you know, mentioned about what he was wanting to do with criminal justice and so forth. And he mentioned that, you know, I had been involved in a program like that.
Okay, we need to hold your thought there. We need to take a break, and we'll talk about the duties and the term and a lot of other things regarding your appointment here. May Beavers, my guest here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:46. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota and Rental. They have a large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Well, good morning. Still quite a bit of traffic volume out here on 24 up through the Hickory Hollow area coming in from Rutherford County. 24 westbound. It's going to be right there at the Rutherford County line near OHB as they move that accident. Franklin Pike at Tyne Boulevard in Oak Hill. That wreck is in its clearing stages. Buying or selling a home? Use who I use. Nikisha and Tony Tate at Exit Master Realty. The Tate team. Call 615-554 9795. That's 615-554-9795. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
She's taken care of you your whole life. Now it's your turn to take care of her. But with a family of your own and other responsibilities, there just aren't enough hours in the day. That's why it might be time to call the Pavilion Senior Living. From bathing, dressing, housekeeping, and meals, the Pavilion Senior Living is committed to being senior living you can trust for your loved one. Find out more at pavilionseniorliving.com or call 444-5556. That's 444-5556.
Gregory Dental in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from University Medical Center. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Our final segment here on a Friday morning, but I want to call you Senator Beavers. We've done that for so long. I guess that's still a correct term since you are, we can say former Senator May Beavers. Do you have a preference?
I don't. Everybody asks me that. I said it's just May as far as I'm concerned, but I still call Senator Frist, or Senator Rochelle, Senator Rochelle. I mean, it's just.
It's kind of something you don't just give up. I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, and if you're just joining us, May Beavers has been appointed and will take office officially February 1st, and Monday, February 3rd, your first working day on the parole board for the state of Tennessee, an appointment by Governor Bill Lee. And this is a 6-year term?
It's a 6-year term. It's an appointment. I mean, after 6 years, another governor comes in, you can be replaced with somebody else. So, it's maybe not short term. 6 years is a good little appointment.
Now, how do tell us a little bit about how all this works? I have a general idea, and you were telling me, I believe there are 7 of you who comprise the parole board. So somebody comes up for parole. The parole board, you 7 people decide whether they get to I guess it's kind of get out of prison early, or whether they have to stay. And there has to be, you have to know a little bit about these people and study each situation, I suppose. And then with 7, you won't have a tie vote. The worst it could be is 4 and 3 against, or vice versa, or hopefully it's a unanimous thing. But that's pretty much the gist of it, isn't it?
That's pretty much it. You're reviewing files. You're doing a lot of reading on their case, recommendations from the parole hearing officers. There are parole hearing officers under us that are at the prisons, at the local jails, that they have the lesser cases that they judge and give us a recommendation. And I understand. And this is all things people have told me. I haven't even been through the training yet, but I've been talking to Richard Montgomery a lot, who's the chairman. I served with him in the House. And he told me that they vote on 16,000 cases a year. He said it's a hard job, but everybody that is serving that I've talked to loves the job. So
do you how often will the 7 of you get together and make decisions?
We actually get together 4 times a year. Everything is operated out of your office. You have hearings by video, so many that you are responsible for setting up. Other days you're just voting on the cases as they come to you, and they said your queue. I have no idea what some of this language is yet. I've got a lot to learn, but they'll have a computer set up with a video in my office. I have an assistant to help me setting up the cases and keeping track of everything. And we go in every day, and we'll be voting on cases and reading files.
So you will have an office, and you will be in that office pretty much every day.
Right.
Okay. How do you? If we could ask us here, you feel about the way the paroles have been handled over the years? Have we done a pretty good job? Do you think there have been some people who've been allowed out when they shouldn't? I'm sure there's been some mistakes, but I just wonder your opinion of what the job we've done, say, in the last 10 or 15 years.
I'm sure there are always mistakes. And then, of course, I was really pulling for Mr. McKinney here in Lebanon, who was wrongfully put in prison, served 30 years. And that really impressed me, because I went to that hearing and, I felt like some of the questions they asked were unfair. But I didn't know all the circumstances. We don't know what all the board members know. But that, to me, anybody that was sent to prison wrongfully for 30 years, we could never repay. And so I think it's very important that you're careful in these decisions and consider everything.
Well, will you have a hard heart or soft heart? It's going to depend on the situation, maybe.
I'll be looking at it fairly, trying to consider everything. after I was off of out of judiciary as chairman, one of the attorneys that represents the lawyers down there and had for years and years came into my office and he said, I just wanted to tell you, I've been around here for about 40 years, either as a legislator or a lobbyist. And he said, you and I very rarely agreed on anything. But he said, I just want to tell you that I thought you were one of the best chairmen that we've had. You were very fair. You let everybody have their say, and you didn't interject yourself into it. And that was one of the biggest compliments that I had while I was, judiciary chairman, or after I was judiciary chairman, is I tried to give everybody a say. And hopefully, I'll be open and listen to everything involved, and that God will give me discernment, as I interview these people, to see, their hearts, to see what their intent is, and have
you seen the movie Shawshank Redemption?
I don't.
Morgan Freeman is one of the leaders, and that is one of my favorite movies. But he was in prison, and he went before the parole board, and he was really wanting them to consider him and everything, and they turned him down. The next time he went, I guess a few years later or whatever, and it pretty much he didn't give a care, and they let him out. It's a hard decision, and like we both would admit here. I mean, some mistakes are going to be made because you just don't know. You have to do give it your best shot, make the best decision you can, and again hope for God's discernment here. And there's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders and on the other six that are part of this.
And you don't want to forget the victims either. And the victims do have a say in this process. They're notified when a person comes up for parole, and they can testify. And they've got it set up now where you really don't have to go face that person. They have a victim services unit at the Board of Parole. They can go in and do everything by video, or they can, send in written objections to them being paroled. They have events at Christmas time, with the victims of crime. And so, it seems like you're going to have a lot of interaction with not only the people that have committed the crimes, but the victims of the crimes, and listening to them. And like I said, just trying to have discernment.
Right. Well, one of the things that is going to change, I understand, you have been for at least a while chairman of the Wilson County Republican Party, and I think that will have to come to an end because of your acceptance of this.
Well,
is that right?
Actually, according to the governor's office, the opinion that I got, no, it doesn't have to. But I've already resigned as of February the 1st, and we have a very able gentleman, Brad Lytle, who's come on board. He was our parliamentarian, and he was elected chair of the party starting February the 1st.
Well, you probably would be. You'd be pretty.
You have to be careful.
Well, your time. I mean, you're going to be devoting a lot of time to this. It sounds, especially if you go into the office every day. You probably don't have time to be as involved in the party.
I've spent pretty much full time on the party, for the last year, and we've come a long ways. And I feel good at the place that we are right now. I think that we've done a fantastic job. I've had a great committee to work with, and I think we've accomplished things in this party that I've been wanting to see for 30 years.
So you will still be a part of the Republican Party. You'll still be active, maybe even here. But your main thing here, starting February the 3rd, is going to be the parole board.
Right.
Yeah.
Just subject to the Little Hatch Act that a lot of state employees are subject to.
Yeah. We got about 3 minutes left here. We didn't talk about your grandchildren this morning.
My goodness.
Your children and grandchildren, how they do it?
Yeah, our first grandchild, who was born while I was doing this show, is 15 now, about almost 6 foot tall. And then the 11-year-old, and I have a granddaughter that's 7 now. So they're all growing up, and you think you're retired and you got time for your grandkids. Well, they're too busy for you. So, and of course, ours live in Wilson County and Cheatham County. Not Wilson, Rutherford County and Cheatham County. So they're not that close, as far as living close enough to run over to their house that often.
Well, what's Jerry doing these days? Your husband, Jerry?
Well, for the last month.
He is really retired, right?
He is really retired. And he's been putting puzzles together in this cold weather. He loves to do puzzles. And I told him, I said, I hear it's good for Alzheimer's patients, dementia patients, so maybe that'll keep you going.
Is he still hunting some?
He's waiting for turkey season to roll around again. He sure is.
Yeah. Well, Jerry gave me a book, and I really appreciated that. Of course, all of y'all are pretty handy with the blue books when they come out. I guess that's something you don't do anymore.
That's something I'm not doing anymore. And by the way, I forgot to get my yellow blue book from Mark this morning. I was there. I was there for the 75th anniversary of women's suffrage, and this is the 100th anniversary. And I helped plan the events back then and designed a fan for the reenactment and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's kind of strange seeing it now, the 100th anniversary. You realize how old you're getting.
Yeah,
and by the way, you don't look 80 years old. You look younger than you used to, I'm telling you.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
I'm serious. People, as you get older, everybody seems, it didn't seem relevant. You're only as old as you feel, right?
Well, that's pretty much. I don't feel 80. I can't hardly believe I'm 80 years old. But maybe this program has kept me younger, having to get up every morning, whether cold. Some of these cold mornings, I'd really like to stay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
but
about.
It keeps you going. I mean, a lot of people retire and they just go home and sit down, and then that's when they get sick and everything. And it's just good to stay involved.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't think you do either. I think
No.
you've proved that by taking a position here.
I know.
We're about to the end of our time, but May, thanks for coming out this morning.
Thank you.
We wish you well. Hope you make good, logical decisions and all goes well for your 6 years here on the parole board.
Thank you very much.
All right. That is going to do it for Friday. Have a nice weekend, everybody. We're really pulling for those Titans. Go Titans. And say until Monday, I wish you a fantastic